pelvic girdle pain issues, then we can sit in an easy seated pose, sitting cross-legged, one foot in front of the other. It's a good idea to just pop something underneath your hips so that our knees can be comfortably lower than our hips. And if we have pelvic girdle pain, we're going to sit on our cushions. Actually, if you have bad indigestion and you want to feel a bit taller through the body, or you might be getting to a stage where it's more comfortable to sit like this, then please sit like this. This is for anyone with indigestion or pelvic girdle pain. So we're going to start, as we always start, by leaving our week behind us, arriving on our mats to become calm and present in this moment. So if you're comfortable closing your eyes, I invite you to do so. And if that's something which doesn't sit well with you, then just take a soft downward gaze. And let's just take a moment to have a little scan of the body. So let's see if we can gently relax the shoulders. So it might help to bring those shoulders up towards the ears and roll them back down our spine and just let them fall away from the ears. Have your hands gently resting on the thighs. Allow the jaw to relax, so giving it a little wiggle and a yawn might really help. Oh, and just allow there to be a little gap between the top and bottom teeth and the top and bottom lip, so we're really able to let that jaw relax. So if you feel like you're biting, just see if you can allow it to release. And if you have any sounds happening around you, so that might be sounds outside the home, sounds inside the home, pets, family, or it might just be the sound of my voice and the sound of your music. See if you can have a gentle approach to those sounds around you. And by that I mean, see if you can just allow them to wash over you simultaneously without grasping onto any individual sound. You might find it easy to just sort of label them one to the other and then see if you can just let them go. If you have thoughts popping into your mind about the past or the future, also see if you can do the same. Allow them to wash over you. So it's okay that they pop in, that's fine, but see if you can gently acknowledge those thoughts and then just let them go, knowing that there's nothing else you need to be doing right now and there's nowhere else you need to be right now. Just for the next few moments, it's about you on the mat, and everything else can just wait. So sometimes when we go into labour, we don't know where that's going to be. We don't know what sounds are going to be around us. And if we can find this present moment wherever we are, in whatever circumstances we are, it can really help to bring our body into a calm state. So now just bring your awareness to your breath and just notice your gentle inhale, your natural exhale. Perhaps noticing the length of your inhale compared to your exhale. Continuing to keep the shoulders relaxed. And then when you're ready and in your own time, in your next inhale, we're going to inhale through the nose if we find that comfortable today, and direct it all the way down towards your belly. And when you're ready to exhale, so you never have to wait for my cue, you're going to exhale through the mouth. And we're going to continue in this sort of rhythm, inhaling through the nose, directing the breath all the way down towards the belly, perhaps imagining more space being created through the belly. And when you're ready in your own time, you're going to exhale through the mouth with slightly parted lips, keeping the lips and jaw really relaxed, and see if you can just extend your exhale until it's comfortable. When you're ready with your next inhale, you're going to inhale, direct it all the way down towards the belly. Imagine that space being created in the belly. Imagine that space being created in the ribs. And then again, as you exhale, exhale through slightly parted lips, and just see if you can make that exhale breath really fine, really slow, naturally slowing your exhale down. Again, when in your own time and when you're ready, inhaling through the nose, directing that breath all the way down towards the belly, imagining that space being created in the belly, in the ribs, at the front of the ribs, to the sides, to the back. And when you're ready, exhaling, softly and slowly. And continuing like this in your own rhythm, in a comfortable, easy breath that can allow the exhale to become longer than your inhale. And with every inhale, just imagining that space being created through the body, through the belly and the ribs. Perhaps there's a bit of space through the chest and the back. Perhaps you grow a little taller through your crown. And then when you exhale in your own time, you just allow all that breath out, perhaps feeling the belly come down, but still feeling the space and the length through the spine. And when we continue to breathe in this way, where we extend that exhale, I don't ask you to count in and count out, because everyone is different and the way you breathe is completely fine for how you are now. But we want to extend that exhale so that we can really have our body fall into our parasympathetic system, that system where everything is fine, where we are relaxed, there's no need for us to be stressed. And we come into a state of comfort and ease. And then place a hand on your heart and hand on your babies, and just allow the breath to settle down into a natural rhythm. Perhaps inhaling and feeling the space between the hands. And then as you exhale, exhale with a big sigh. You can make it audible, no one can hear you. Taking another one. And then just take a moment to check in with your body. Just have a little scan, see how it's feeling today, if there's any little niggles, and just be kind to it during the practice. And then also have a moment to check in with your babies, to connect in with them, maybe share a thought or a feeling that you may have for them today, something that may naturally arise in the moment, or something that you've thought of in the past. It doesn't matter. Just knowing that this is time for you and your babies for the next hour or so. There's nothing else you need to do, and there's nowhere else you need to be. And then just warming the palms up together, giving them a nice rub. And then placing them over the eyes. And if they're not open, just gently flicking them open to re-enter the room behind your warmed up palms. And giving yourself a little massage across the eyebrows and the foreheads and the temples. Maybe having another yawn around the jaw and the neck. And then just coming to place the hands onto the thighs again. And so let's take those shoulders all the way up to the ears again and just allow them to fall back. We're going to inhale, arms up, and allow your gaze to Meet your hand. And then we're going to exhale, cactus the hands. Really open up through those shoulders and take them all the way down so that we clasp them behind our back. Opening up in those shoulders. Make sure here you're not overarching in your lower back. So if you are, just don't stretch the shoulders back so much. And then just bring those clasped hands to one side of our back and feel that opening in one shoulder. Inhaling here. So can you see? Oh, I've got my hands. And then just bring them back to center, open up in those shoulders. And then bringing them all the way around to the other side. And then bringing back to center. Perhaps gently bringing that head down. Chin towards chest without touching. And then bring the hands all the way in front of us and curve that back so you get a nice sort of cat pose. And then just coming to neutral. Let's inhale the hands up again. Exhale, press palms together, coming through heart center. Feel that opening. And then we're just going to come straight into a side bend. Reaching through the fingers. Just, again, explore where your head and neck feels most comfortable. And then we're going to curve that back around a bit like we did before with the cat, and we're going to come to the other side. And we're going to let that flow for a few rounds. So just coming from one side to the other. And really feeling each movement here. Allowing the fingers to be extended and active so that we can feel all the muscles in our arms working as well. And then when we come to the opposite side, just sitting in this stretch for a moment. Creating that space through our side body, reaching through the fingers. And with every exhale, maybe just melting a little bit more. And then coming back, one side to the other. Until we come into our side twist. So here, baby's belly soft and facing forward. We inhale, we're going to grow tall through that crown of our heads. And as we relax, we open up in the top part of our body, so it's not a twist in the belly. And then let's just cartwheel the hands around, come to the other side, grow tall through that. Relax the back shoulder away from the ear. And then coming back forward. So let's take our legs out. If there's pelvic girdle pain, then we're just keeping them hip distance apart, wide enough for babies. And if not, you can take your legs out further. You can remain sitting on something if that helps keep that nice straight spine. So let's just start with doing a few circles through the feet and the wrists. And we can make this more active by raising the arms all the way up. And you don't have to do it. You could just keep them low and then change the twist and come all the way down. And again, maybe let's take the hands out and then up. You could allow the head to follow to get a further stretch through the neck and then change direction in the feet and the hands and come all the way down. I always feel quite uncoordinated in this sort of twisting. My feet just seem to go anywhere. Maybe I shouldn't admit that as a yoga teacher, but I don't think coordination is super important for teaching yoga, is it? We're coming all the way down. And then let's just have a gentle forward fold. So this may help release anything in that lower back which is happening. And it can be really gentle, just wherever babies are allowing you to go. It doesn't need to be, we're not striving to get anywhere. We're just relaxing into the forward fold. And then we're going to open that up to the right. So we're taking our right hand towards the inside of our right leg, and then just opening up through the side body here, reaching through. It doesn't matter where we come, we just want to feel the stretch in our side, so not forward fold anymore. So it could be anywhere which is comfortable. And then let's come back through our forward folds. Let the head relax. It doesn't matter if our back is curved, that will be really nice to stretch out the back rather than having a straight back. Inhale really deep and then exhale, melt a little more. And we're going to bring that left hand in towards the left inside part of our leg and come into our side twist on the other side. Side bend. Reaching through the fingertips. And so we breathe out our mouth in pregnancy yoga because we don't need to generate any more heat through the body. So if you're used to regular yoga, you would exhale through your nose. And also to get us used to breathing during birth. So coming back into that forward fold just one more time. And then just walking the hands in towards our body, just allow it to roll up vertebrae by vertebrae and take those shoulders back. Nice. Let's come into our all fours. You can move your support away. And we're going to have our hands nice and spread, like you're about to do a downward facing dog. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. Unless you have any problems with the wrists, then coming down onto the forearms or taking them slightly in front of you to take some of that pressure off. So do what is going to work for you. We're going to come into our cat-cows. So if you're on your forearms, actually for everyone, we're just inhaling and then keeping our spine nice and neutral so we don't come into that cow position we normally would in yoga. We just extend through the crown of the head. You don't even have to lift your head. If it feels good to lift the shoulders and the head, do it, but don't arch in that lower back. If you're down on your forearms, it would probably just feel nice to extend through the head. And then exhale and curve into our cat. So we inhale, come into a neutral spine from the tailbone, allow the vertebrae to unravel, should feel really nice on back. And then as you exhale, exhale from the tailbone. Do it really slowly. See if you can almost picture vertebrae by vertebrae unraveling. Let the head fall down. Continue again in your own time. All your breaths should feel at ease and comfortable. Yes, we want it to be slower and smooth, but also listen to yourself. And so when you breathe more slowly, that may be different to the way I breathe more slowly. And it absolutely will, because your body is doing a lot more work than my body is. Nice. And then come into that neutral position, and we're just going to rock our cat forward and back. You can make it as small or as big as you like. Keep those hands nice and spread, like you're going to do a downward facing dog. And then come back to neutral. We're going to start to make our circles. So if you've been coming for a while, you might just naturally fall into a figure of 8. Just go for whatever is working for you today. And if this is the first time, we're going to just imagine that we're drawing a circle with our belly button. So imagine you've got something sort of hanging from the belly button and you're drawing a circle with that. And today we're going to come into our Ujjayi breath as we do this. So either in your figure of 8s or circles. We inhale through the nose, direct that breath towards the belly. And then when you exhale, exhale through the mouth, but imagine you're fogging up a mirror in front of you. So there's a little constriction at the back of your throat. You might start to make a sigh sound. So we inhale. still see if you can make that exhale nice and long. And also you might want to start to bring in a big sigh at the end of it. So inhale. And so what we're doing here is starting to make that sound audible. You can be as loud as you want because no one can hear you. I can't hear you. And it's good practice to get in touch with making sound and knowing that it is totally part of the process. You may make sound, you may not make sound during labour. But always having the knowledge that it is welcomed and can really be helpful during labour. So it's connecting movement with sound. Okay, and then just come back to the centre, bring it, make it neutral. We're going to do one cat-cow, so extend through the head into that neutral spine position. Exhale through the tailbone, push through the hands, come up into our cat. Come back into a neutral position. So let's start to circle in the opposite direction. And again, just start to make sound, whatever the sound is. It might be a ooh sound or an ah sound, but whatever it is, make it nice and breathy and like a big sigh at the end of your exhale. And you could start to make those circles really big, especially if you want this to be more of an active position rather than a practice contraction. Okay, and then just coming back into our center, let's rock the cat forward and back. And then if it's comfortable, we're going to come all the way back into child's pose. So take the knees out wide, stack our fists so that our head can rest on there, or you could bring it all the way down to the floor. Or if you've got your birth ball or a bolster, you can use it up here. And just start to breathe in towards the back, creating space, and then exhale with a long, breathy sigh. And then let's come all the way up. So we're going to open up the left arm, extend through the fingers here, and then just allow that hand to come back down towards our sacrum. Really feel this opening and space being created across the chest. And then just extending all the way up, coming down. We're going to extend that left hand all the way out and come into our half puppy. So again, feeling that stretch through the back and the sides. And you're resting your forehead on the back of your right hand. You might want to start to give it a little massage across the center of your forehead, which is a lovely relaxation point. And then pushing up through the hand, we're going to extend that arm all the way up again. From here, let's tuck it under. We're going to come into thread the needle. So let's thread it through your right arm. Let me face this. Threading that arm through, resting our ear onto the floor if we can get it there. And if we're comfortable here, you might extend that top arm, the right arm, and walk it out. Feeling that stretch. If it's comfortable, otherwise just keep that top arm bent and giving you a bit of leverage. And then pushing through the arms again, let's open up through that left side. Exhale, come down. Meet in all fours. So if we're on our forearms, we're just going to rock that cat forward and back. And if we're on the hands, we're going to come down onto the forearms. We're going to come into our scooping cat 3 times. So we inhale through the arms, you pin those elbows towards your wrists, and then you exhale, curve your back around. So if you haven't done it before, you might want to watch. And then inhaling through the arms again. And then exhale, tuck the toes, Come all the way around. One more, inhaling through the arms, pinning those elbows towards our ribs. Exhale, tuck the toes, walk the hands back, and we're going to come into a foot stretch. Rotate those shoulders back. If we're comfortable here, you might want to extend the right arm, tuck the left arm, and come into calf face arms. So you could either bind the hands or just take the shirt. If it's too much on your toes, you could always come down a little bit like this. So just see how you go. And don't sit through pain. Just like, yeah, see how you go. You could always take them off. Untuck them. And then just rotating those arms around. We're going to put our hands down, tap the toes. Take a deep inhale here. And exhale with a big sigh. Rock our cat forward and back. Relax the neck. And then we're going to prepare for the other side. So inhaling right up, arm up. Place it on our sacrum. See if we can really open up in that shoulder. Like I've said loads of times before, my right side is so much tighter. So you might be down here, you might be up here. And then lifting that right arm up. We're going to extend it out and come into our half puppy. So we extend that right hand out away from the body, and then we place our forehead on our top of our left hand, folded in, like so. Give yourself a little massage by just rotating the forehead around the back of your hand. Feel that stretch and that opening in the back and the side body. Relax into it. And then just pushing up again. We're going to open up that right hand. And exhale, come into our thread, the needle on the other side. Bringing the ear towards the ground if it's comfy. Using the left hand with a bent out elbow if that's comfy. And if that feels good, you can walk that top hand out. Then stretch through, coming back up to all fours. Let's open up one more time. Exhale, plant that hand down. Let's rock back and forward to start with, and we're going to come into our 3 scooping cats again. So if you're not happy, you haven't got happy wrists, just keep rocking your cat. Otherwise, we're inhaling through the arms, pinning elbows, tucking the toes, and then exhaling, coming all the way back. Doing another 2 like that. And remember, you can always ask me anything if something doesn't feel, doesn't make sense. Inhaling all the way through. And this one, tucking the toes, walking the hands back. Rotating the shoulders back. So if you didn't love the toe stretch and it was too much, you can come down and do this on the tops of your feet. So coming into our cow face pose on the opposite side. If we're binding, just make sure we're not doing this or we're not overarching in our back like this. So that is not going to be nice, especially for pregnant bodies. So just see if we can point the tailbone down towards the ground. Don't under or over tuck it. And then just gently unravel the arms. Come and lean onto our arms. Give our toes a little tap. We've been in our toe stretch. And then we're going to come up into our downward facing dog. So if that is not for you today, because lots of you are becoming further in your pregnancy and it's not something you want to practice, then please don't feel like you have to. You can just open up the shoulders and come back into our cat-cow, or you could come into your figure of eights, which we haven't done today. So if you're doing a figure of eight, imagine you're drawing a figure of eight with the tip of your nose, and we'll do both sides. Otherwise, downward facing dog. So spreading those hands nice and wide, tucking the toes, pushing up through the hands, coming into downward facing dog. Start to just keep your knees nice and bent and wide enough. You've got to keep your feet wide enough for babies at this stage. So just walking through our feet, bringing the heels down towards each other. Allow the head to hang and look through the legs. And then we're going to come back down onto all fours. Let's look to the left. So you're going to bring your left shoulder towards your left hip. And then look to the right, bringing right shoulder towards the right hip. And then coming into center. Let's prepare, tuck the toes, and then push up into downward facing dog. Again, this time, just keep the knees nice and bent, have a nice straight back. I'm going to have a quick look at you, so just hold that for a moment. So if you feel like you're coming into your arms, then just bend the knees even more and push through the hands, point the tailbone up into the air. Come back down onto all fours. Look to the left. Look to the right. So we're going to do one more, and then we're going to come up into standing. So inhale to prepare. Exhale, tuck the toes, push up into downward facing dog. Keep the knees bent so that we don't have all this weight into our hands. We want to push back. Here we're going to start to walk those hands towards our feet. So if you're in your figure of eights, then just come to all fours and start to walk the hands back towards the feet, coming into standing. Yeah, perfect. Coming through a forward fold, let the head hang, and then just push through the feet, rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae, coming all the way up into standing. Take the shoulders back. Place a hand on the heart and a hand on your baby. Take a deep breath into all parts of that body from hand to hand. And then exhale with a big sigh. So have our feet hip distance apart. You might feel like hip distance apart feels a bit wider now with babies. That's totally fine, and do that. So we want space for babies between the legs. Okay, we're going to inhale, arms up, really stretch through the fingers. And then just take your right wrist with your left hand, and we're going to gently come over to the left hand side. So open up in the shoulders, make sure we're not overarching in that lower back. Inhale, come to the top. You can allow your gaze to follow the hands, and then exhale, come to the other side. Inhale, come to the center. Exhale, spread the fingers like they're spreading through honey, and allow them to join at the back. Open up in the shoulders here. Make sure we're not arching that lower back again. So if it feels comfortable here and we're not arching, you can start to extend the hands back to get a further stretch. And then bringing the hands forward like they're spreading through honey. We're going to bend the knees and come into a modified forward fold. So if you're feeling okay in your forward folds, you could come all the way down. But if you're starting to feel like that indigestion's happening, or you just feel a bit like too much baby here, just stay up here and extend through the crown. And then start to roll up. So curve the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, coming all the way up. Roll the shoulders back. I'm going to place the hands onto our hips and come into some tilts. So let's just start by drawing a little smile with our hip bones coming from one side to the other. And you can keep a little micro bend in the knees to get a bit of movement, because when we don't have a bend in our knees, it's really hard to move from side to side. And then coming into our tilts. So tilting the pelvis forward and back. They're quite small movements, but really, really nice for helping with stabilizing of our pelvis and any niggly little back pains as well. And then from here, let's move into big circles. So coming from one side You can let your breath go with a big sigh again, if that's feeling good. And then come around all the way to the other. Okay, coming into our standing pose. So feet again, hip distance apart. Have a little micro bend in the knees. Make sure our tailbone isn't over tucking or extending out. Just have it nice and neutral. Take the shoulders back. You might want to open up the hands to feel that real opening in our chest. We're going to inhale, arms up. And then exhale, push the palms together. Feel the opening in our shoulders. We're going to come into chair pose to do a bit of strengthening through our thighs for everyone who's planning an active labour. So when we come down in our chair, we're imagining that we're sort of squeezing a block together without bringing the knees together. So we're going to inhale, arms up, and then we're going to exhale, imagine that block, and come down. So make sure, again, we're protecting our lower back. If you start to feel like you're doing this, just come up a bit and protect it. Make sure our bellies aren't pulling us forward. If it's too much with hands out, just bring our hands to babies. One more. And then we're going to extend all the way up, bring the gaze up, hands to center. And we're actually going to do that chair pose against a wall now. Is everyone easily accessible to a wall? Just a little bit of wall. Yeah? No? Oh, we don't. If you don't have a wall, if you're not near a wall, we can do it without. I'd rather see you. I'd rather. Okay. Okay, cool. Or a door. Wall or a door. So what we're going to do is just step a little bit further away. Before we come into the pose, just as a word of warning, this is going to be a breath exercise as much as strengthening. So we're going to breathe through whatever breath, if you've been doing hypnobirthing, you've done the golden thread breath with me, you're going to use, or just that yogic breath we use at the beginning of class, slow your breaths down. We're going to hold it for a minute, but the more you can slow that breath down, quicker it's going to go. So we're going to stand out at least, say, 50 centimeters, and then start to sink down into your chair. If you want, you can extend the arms out. If you want to hold babies, you can hold babies. Make sure you haven't imprinted your back in there, have a nice little gap, and then you can rest your head on the back. And we're going to start breathing in through the nose, directing that breath all the way down towards the belly. And as you exhale in your own time, when you're ready, you're going to exhale that breath nice and long and slow, allowing it to become further and further away from you. Continue to breathe in deep towards the belly. If you have a visualization, bring that visualization in now. Invite all those tools that you've been learning, that you've been reading about, that we've been practicing in yoga. And just breathe through any thoughts that are popping in the minds. Focus it back to your visualization. Allowing any discomfort to be carried away with the breath. And then just pushing ourselves up. And coming back towards the wall, looking towards the wall. We're going to come into a rest pose. So you might want to press the hands into the wall and come into like a downward facing dog. Supported. Take an inhale here. And then exhale with a big sigh. Walk the hands up the wall. We're going to come back in towards the wall. Step out a little. Come back down towards our chair. Find a position comfortable for you. And we're going to start breathing through it again. Just allow those exhales to become lovely and long and silky and smooth. Allow the mind to be completely focused and interested in what's going on with your breath. Invite in any visualization. Taking long breaths, so we take fewer breaths. And then gently pushing up through our feet, looking at the wall. We're going to lean on our hands this time. So bring the forearms towards the wall. Can you see me? Yeah. And then just rest your head onto the back of your hands like we did in our half puppy and start to massage through. You might want to start to circle the hips to the right and then circle the hips to the left. And so then you can start to sort of marry up these movements into the type of movements you might decide to take during an active labour. And also it's really nice for lower back pain. And then just walk away, step away from the wall, push the hands into the wall, take that downward facing dog supported. Let the head relax. And if you're comfortable, then you can come into a forward fold. So either on the thighs, or you could just hang out in your forward fold all the way down. And then pushing up through the feet, vertebrae by vertebrae, rolling up. Placing a hand on the heart, a hand on baby. Take a deep breath in towards your hands. And exhale with a big sigh. Nice one to practice getting into that that mindset of where we want to use our breath for a reason to move through something. So let's stand at the top of our mat and we're going to come into a short sun salutation. If you don't want to go into a downward facing dog, come straight onto all fours. Or if you've got wrist issues, just come straight, start at the back of your mat and walk down into all fours. Okay, so feet hip distance apart, shoulders back. We're going to inhale, arms up. And then exhale, come into a forward fold, either half to the sides or all the way down. Planting the hands down, coming to downward facing dog, or just walking down into all fours. One moment in downward facing dog, pointing the sit bones up towards the air, and then coming down to all fours. Let's look to the left, look to the right. We're going to do a scooping cat, so come down into the forearms, inhale through the arms, pin the elbows towards the ribs, exhale, come all the way back for a moment, and then back to all fours. If we don't want to be on our wrists, no, actually, let's all just do this. Let's walk the hands towards our knees. Roll the shoulders back. We're going to inhale, push up through those thighs so that, again, you feel like you're holding a block between the thighs. So you're using the muscles. You're not just springing up. You're going to exhale, hands to heart, and then bring the right foot forward. Let's inhale, arms up. Exhale, open up to a modified warrior 2. We're going to take one moment into a reverse warrior, really gentle. Don't come into some crazy back position, just be gentle. Cartwheel the hands down inside our foot. You might need to heel toe the foot out a little bit to have space for baby. And then just reaching up through that hand. Let's bring the hand down. So both of our hands are inside our right foot. And we're just going to gently rock back and forward. So we get a nice hamstring stretch here. And then we come into a lunge and you might start to feel that in your hip flexor. Just be gentle here. If you feel anything in your knee, that's not what we want. Don't make the movement so big, or pop a blanket underneath you. One more. Let's inhale, both arms up, floating towards the sky. And then we're going to bring our left arm down towards our kneeling left knee and come into a side stretch. Yeah. So make sure our hips don't pop out here like this. We're just stretching, feeling that space in our side body. Come all the way up. Exhale, place the hands down. We're going to take that knee back, scooping cat, or just rocking cat. Exhale, we're going to walk the hands back towards our feet, come through a forward fold. Relax the neck. Your forward fold might be up here. And then just roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Bring the shoulders back. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hand on heart, hand on baby. Take a deep breath in here. And exhale with a big sigh. Either walk to the front of the mat or stay at the back if you're just going to walk down into all fours straight away. If you want to do a downward facing dog, come to the top of the mat. Feet hip distance apart. Let's inhale, arms up. Exhale, come into a forward fold. Curve your back in your forward fold. Don't like swan dive down where our lower back becomes a bit more fragile. Step into downward facing dog for a moment, if that's our choice today. Sit bones up in the air, weight not into our arms, and then float down into your all fours. Let's look to the left and look to the right. And then we're going to come into our scooping cat. Forearms, inhale through. Exhale, all the way back. And we're going to walk our hands back towards our knees. Going to inhale, arms up. Feel like you've got that block between your thighs and you're really working your thighs and not springing up. Exhale, bring our left foot forward. Just remember what I've done. Inhaling, arms up. I'm just going to spin around so I can see you. And then exhale, open up towards our modified warrior two. So we're really drawing up in that center part of our body and everything's open here. Then we're just going to float back into a gentle reverse warrior modified so that we're not arching, in our back. Be careful and gentle. Let's cartwheel hands round. And we're going to reach up through one hand and then gently placing both hands inside our foot. Come into a lunge if it feels good. If it doesn't, just you can almost be up here if it doesn't. And then coming into stretching that hamstring. Be careful when you do this. Don't go to your edge. You've got relaxing going through your body. So you want to come before you feel like, I don't know, like in general yoga, we talk about the edge and we're always like, oh, we've got to go to that edge. When you're pregnant, don't go there because it's easier for you to pull a muscle without realizing at the time. So just be gentle. Lovely. Then inhaling, arms up. We're going to exhale, bring them back down, come to all fours. Scooping cat. Curve the back, tap the toes, and we're all going to walk up to standing. Coming through a forward fold, bend the knees, shake the head, yes and no. Feel that stretch through the back, and then push up through the feet. And then just bring the shoulders back. Nice. So let's stand at the back of our mat. We're going to come back down and we're going to make sure we fit in just a little bit of pelvic floor. So let's come down to forward fold. Walk the hands forward. Find a position that feels good. So if it's your first class with me, I recommend coming down in this position. And if you've been coming for a while, then find a position where you can be nice and relaxed. You could sit up like you, I guess the best options are either here, if you don't want to be on all fours, or here, if you feel like you're not too familiar with your pelvic floor and you need a bit more connection with it, because this is the easiest way to feel it. So wherever we are, have a drink of water, do whatever you're going to do before if you need to make yourself comfortable. Otherwise, come into this position, and we're going to do front, middle, and back. So we're going to locate the three parts of our pelvic floor, or the three holes in our pelvic floor. Pelvic floor is one whole hammock. And we're just going to form a relationship of what happens when we inhale and squeeze and we exhale and let go. So starting with the back, and so this is the bit you might squeeze together if you didn't want any air to come out. So we're going to inhale and squeeze, and then exhale, release. Inhaling, squeeze. And then exhale and release. And sorry, I should say, do it in your own time. You don't have to wait for my cue. As long as we're inhaling, we're squeezing on the inhale and we're releasing on the exhale. Opposite to what you may be used to, but it's not a mistake. That's what we want to do here to get our body used to releasing on the exhale, which is not the natural way for it to do it. And that's because if we're having our baby vaginally, we want to be able to open and relax the pelvic floor when we exhale to birth our baby. Okay, then just take the hips from side to side. Make sure you release any tension in the pelvic floor. Let it go. Because sometimes we can hold too much tension there, especially as women. And then bringing our awareness to the front of our pelvic floor. So this is a bit you might hold together if you needed to run to the loo for a wee. And you're going to just do quick flutters. So remember to breathe, but you're going to have to do quick, short flutters. Make sure it doesn't go too far up into your tummy. So especially if you're sitting up here, you know, make sure it's still focused on that lower part of our core. And then release and relax. Just take the hips from side to side. Make sure all that tension is gone. Okay, then let's focus and bring our awareness to the center part, to the middle part, which is our vagina. We're going to inhale and we're going to draw up the muscles in between. And then on that exhale, see if you can release and relax. Release the shoulders. And just gently open up. Inhaling, gathering up the muscles around the walls of our vagina. And then as we exhale, exhale through the mouth. Again, come back to your breath that we've practiced during class, or you may have practiced in other classes. And on every exhale, see if you can open and relax a little bit more. Okay, and then just completely relax, take the hips from side to side. And then just walk the hands back towards your knees and come into a kneeling position. So if there's any questions about that, didn't make sense, please do ask. You can email or ask at the end of class. So let's just roll those shoulders back. Inhale, arms up here. Allow the head to follow, and then exhale. Just come to the side for a moment. Baby's belly soft and facing forward. Rotate that back shoulder back. Open up in the heart. Inhale, arms up. And then exhale, come around to the other side. Take the shoulder back. Reaching tall through the crown. And then coming forward. Just move the hips towards the left, and we're just going to take our right foot out, left foot grounded on the ground. Wide space between foot and thigh. And just reaching tall through the hand, point the toes towards the face, and we're just going to open up. So that's a big opening twist, but we're hugging babies towards our thighs, so we're not twisting in our bellies. Giving them a nice little massage. Allow the exhale to be nice and long. Come forwards. And if you don't have any pelvic girdle pain, you can take a moment stretching forward. So take that foot really nice and wide and then stretch forward. Then just let's gently change feet. So we're going to have our right foot on the ground, hugging our thigh in towards our belly, feet towards our face. Just stretching through and then opening up in the shoulder. And again, just feeling that connection between your baby and your thigh, giving it a nice massage. And exhaling and relaxing. And then just taking a moment to stretch forward. Again, just take that foot out wider for baby. And if you don't need to bind your toe, you could just gently sit up tall, wherever. Okay, and then just relax, take the legs out, give them a little wiggle. And we're going to come into our Shavasana. Sorry, I feel like I've really overrun there. So coming into our Shavasana, so your options are lying on your left side, make yourself super comfy, basically. Lie on your left side. You could have a bolster supporting your top leg if you wanted, giving you space for babies. If you really didn't want to lie on your side, you could prop cushions on an angle and lie so that you're propped up on your back. Especially good if you're congested or you've got a bit of a cold or something. This might be a bit more comfortable. But wherever you are, just sinking into that moment, allowing yourself to relax. And knowing that for the next few moments, there is nothing you need to do. There's nowhere you need to be. Just here on your mat, allowing yourself to relax, letting go of the day, letting go of the week you've had, letting go of what you're going to be moving into. It's just you and your baby. So again, if you're comfortable closing your eyes, I invite you to do so. But there's no pressure. Just do what's good for you. And as we lay here, just start to feel the heaviness in your body. Allow the head to become heavy, and the shoulders to become heavy, and the hips and the feet. Start to just feel the body melt into the ground beneath you, being totally and 100% supported by the ground underneath. And we're going to move into a full body relaxation where we focus on different parts of the body, allowing each part to relax. So bringing our awareness towards our toes. And perhaps as we inhale, visualizing a warming golden breath which travels down the body towards the toes and spreads out toe by toe until all 10 toes are relaxed. Visualizing this warming sensation traveling up the soles of our feet and the top of our feet. Moving into the ankles. Spreading up the shins and the back of the calves, the back of the knees. And relax. Warming sensation spreading up through the thighs, to the muscles, all the way deep to the bone. And relax. As you inhale, taking another breath of this golden warming relaxation, visualizing it traveling down towards the belly and spreading out towards the hips, allowing the hips to feel open, the pelvic floor to soften and feel relaxed. Allowing the waist to be soft. And relaxed. With every gentle and natural inhalation, we feel this warming sensation spread all over to every part of our body. Spreading towards our babies and sending them a love and a smile. And relax. And visualizing babies in the optimum position for birthing with their head down. And their backs resting along the left side of your tummy. And relax. Allowing this warming relaxation sensation to find the tip of your tailbone and gradually, vertebrae by vertebrae, travel up the back, spreading across all the muscles in your back, spreading across all the muscles in your shoulders, and relax. Allowing this sensation to travel from the shoulders, down the elbows to the wrists, and the arms are relaxed. Feeling this warming sensation on the back of your hands, to the tips of your fingers, and to the center of your palm. And the hands are relaxed. Visualize it traveling from the hands back up the arms, into the neck, into the back of the head, all the way into the crown of the head. And relax. Allow this warming sensation to move into the jaw, giving it a wiggle or a yawn. Allowing there to be a gap between the top and bottom teeth and the top and bottom lip. Allowing the tongue to move away from the roof of your mouth. And relax. Allow the sensation to spread through all the muscles in your face, the cheekbones, the muscles around your eyes, and relax. Allow this sensation to travel towards the skin that goes across your forehead. And as you focus on this part of your body, allow yourself to drift off completely, drifting off towards that space between wake and sleep, allowing the body to melt into the space around you. Staying here until I bring you back round and just relax. And saying to yourself, I am calm, I am relaxed, and I'm ready for my baby. My body knows what to do, and I listen to my motherly intuition. I control what I can control, and I let go of what I can't. I'm calm, I am relaxed, and I'm ready for my baby. Gently, we're going to start to come round. So just starting to take an inhale and bringing our focus back onto our breath. Start to notice the support underneath you. Start to notice the sounds around you. And start to just come back to this moment of you on the mat. And on another inhale, begin to send energy to the fingers and toes, perhaps giving them a little wiggle and allowing them to wake up. And then on your next inhale, gently open the eyes and keep a soft gaze and just start to notice how you feel. Start to notice how the body may feel. Start to notice how the mind may feel. Knowing that you can come back to this feeling at any point in time. Totally accessible to you. And then when you're ready and in your own time, just gently pushing yourself up into an easy seated pose, which is comfortable for you. And meeting with a hand on your heart and hand on your baby. Keep that soft, drishti gaze. And again, start to look inwards and connect with your baby. You might connect with a feeling that naturally arises, or it might be something that you want to share with your baby now. We're going to finish today's class with an Om, so please join in if it is in your practice, otherwise that's fine. Bringing our hands together and inhaling. And thank you for sharing your practice with me.